guy this driver was following was seen chucking rubbish outside his window onto the road, so the camera honked after him and pulled up next to his vehicle just seconds after to confront him. Then this happened.
Pick up your rubbish! Pick up your rubbish!
The guy didn't seem to care, but at least he tried to get him to do the right thing. What would you have done? This group of people were at a car meet when something was about to go wrong, and no, I'm not talking about the police arriving to the meet. I'm talking about this McLaren who seemingly took off well, but just moments later had the entire crowd running in his direction because this happened.
No. Wait, what? He crashed? No! Oh, the bumper came out. Oh. Damn. Yeah, he's good.
The McLaren completely lost its front bumper, but thankfully the driver was okay.
It's not bad.
When waiting at a crossroads, this happened.
Yeah, that's fine.
Holy sh! Fire, fire, fire!
The two cars collided at full force as a young driver exited the vehicle on fire with his hands on his head. What do you think was going through his mind? When waiting at a crossroads, this happened.
Yeah, that's fine.
Holy sh! Fire, fire, fire!
The two cars collided at full force as a young driver exited the vehicle on fire with his hands on his head. What do you think was going through his mind? Whilst this driver was going around a roundabout, he saw another driver rear-end a car, so he pulled up next to them and said this.
You okay? I got it on camera. Go to the first car park. I'll come with you.
After a short chat, he went on a mission and furiously chased down the driver at fault as he sped after him, then honked him to pull over and say this.
Go to Halfords. Halfords. She's waiting in Halfords. I've got it on camera. Don't drive off.
This guy was driving in the UK when this happened. But what he didn't think about was more than one car passing as he nearly got into a collision. But is it really all the other guy's fault? What do you think?
Patience, man. Yo.
This biker was riding down the 710 freeway heading south in East Los Angeles when a female driver who was in a hurry to pick up her son from school because he split open his lip after falling off his skateboard unexpectedly changed lanes, and this happened.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. My hand, I think my hand messed up. We gotta get off the road. You pull off, get off on Washington. Let's get off the road. I'm okay, ma'am. I'm okay, thank you. I'm okay.
Thankfully, everyone involved was okay. The biker also didn't file an insurance claim because they all managed to work out the incident amongst themselves.
This guy was driving in Canada when a Harley driver decided to brake check him while he was going 75 miles per hour. Our POV driver didn't have the time or space to stop the car properly, so to avoid any collision, he passed the Harley biker on his left. Embarrassed that all this happened in front of his friends, the biker decided to repeat his actions, but this time when he got in front of the car, our driver tailgated him, making it clear he wasn't up for any games. That's when the biker sped up and realized it wasn't a good idea to get rear-ended by a car while riding a motorcycle. This biker caught up with the driver who almost rear-ended him, and when he was about to confront her, instead of apologizing, she had different plans.
Are you watching where you're going? Are you even paying attention to what you're doing? Are you even paying attention, running red lights and swerving in and out of traffic? You're swerving in and out of traffic, running red lights. So you almost ran into me off the exit of the freeway. Because you don't know how to drive?
You don't know how to drive.
How about you almost rear-ended me? Yeah, I know you don't almost rear-ended me. All right, well, we'll see. All right, go.
Seeing that she was not welcoming any criticism, the biker asked the woman to drive, but it looked like she didn't appreciate those words and decided to push the beef to another level. The woman tried to spit on the biker while both of them were moving, and also tried to hit him with her drink. This driver was moving through a rural area in Europe when he tried to pass the truck in front of him. At the same time, a reckless driver from behind was also trying to overtake, coming very close to rear-ending him. After getting honked at, the other driver didn't pass the truck and stopped in the middle of the road to confront our POV driver. The black sedan then rushed up from behind again, passed the POV driver, and stopped in the middle of the road. He got out and walked toward our guy. Without missing a beat, our driver rolled down the window and pepper sprayed him. The reckless driver was left standing in the road, rubbing his eyes in pain. This biker was riding down a UK highway at a good speed when a blue SUV almost hit him, moving into his lane. If you're asking why she didn't check the mirror, I'm wondering about that too. But the funnier part of this is that the driver of the blue SUV waved at the biker and road raged at him as if he were the one at fault. This red truck driver was moving on with his day when a white pickup truck ran a red light and cut him off rapidly. Our driver honked at him, and it looked like the white truck's driver understood his failure and put his hand out. But no, the rear camera captured the white truck catching up to our driver and getting out to confront him while he was waiting for the green light. What are your thoughts on this? Watch as this yellow van driver switches lanes and cuts off this speeding Ram truck. The truck managed to stop without rear-ending him, but this move from the yellow van just ignited the Ram truck driver's rage. The truck driver managed to get in front of the van and brake-checked him in revenge, but yet again, another collision was avoided. The Ram driver cut the other driver off once again, and a catastrophic chain crash on this busy road was prevented. After a long day at work, this driver in Melbourne was going back home when a pedestrian was walking in the middle of the road, not letting him move. After the driver honked at him, the pedestrian responded in an interesting way. He gave the finger to the CCTV cameras around as well. It didn't seem like a big deal until the driver honked again, but this time the intoxicated pedestrian raged.
Yeah, there's a camera here. See, hey, Mike, hey, Mike.
This went on for minutes, but some other pedestrians who were also annoyed at this man came to help. They pushed the intoxicated pedestrian and confronted him for acting that way. This truck driver was going about his day when a police car came from behind and tried to squeeze in where no lane existed, which obviously was his fault. But what the officer does next is unacceptable.
Dude! Yeah, I almost just took you out.
Well, you slowed down.
I'm sitting in traffic. What do you mean slow down? What? You have no lane.
Pull over in front of me.
I've got you on camera too, sir. I almost just hit you.
No, you see me coming.
Are you kidding? I saw you coming. There's nothing left. How can I see you coming?
After exchanging some words, the officer walks back to his car. Imagine what would have happened if the trucker didn't have a dash cam. This police SUV cut off a driver and sent him off the road. The police car then started moving in a zigzag pattern in the middle of the road, signaling all the vehicles to stop. All of this happened because the cop car was involved in stopping a runaway car. After causing all this chaos, the police managed to stop the fleeing driver in a very risky way. The driver was waiting to merge onto this road when the SUV cut in front of him. Once he stopped the car, the SUV driver got out holding a hammer in his hand and without saying any words threw it directly at our driver's direction. The hammer struck the windshield with great force, and the reckless driver then got back into his car and drove off. And when the police looked for the reckless driver, he was already in jail for other charges. Watch this fire truck rushing out of the garage in response to a call. But there's a catch here. It looks like the driver of this red car was in a rush too. If you got mad watching this, a convenient nearby cop immediately turned on his lights and went after the red car. Watch as this Karen driver almost runs this biker out of his lane. The biker honked at her and argued with her while both of them were moving. But Karen had her own rules.
I'm right here. Learn to merge, you dickhead. You're on camera.
The biker then stopped and let a parked officer know about this.
She tried to run me out of my lane at the merge. I have it on video. Yep. Front one, I have it on video. I can get it on my phone if we pull into a parking lot.
The biker showed the cop his GoPro footage, which was proof enough for the old lady to receive 2 tickets. This driver was waiting for the car ahead to merge onto the road when an orange truck came from behind, cut in front, and almost caused a crash. Angry at our driver for honking, the truck driver brake-checked in the middle of the road, nearly causing another crash. Acting tough, the truck driver got out and started walking towards our driver, but he backed off and drove away. This man was driving in Texas when he fell victim to an insurance scammer. A reckless driver came from behind and cut him off, forcing our driver to hit her on the rear. The driver didn't stop there and kept moving, repeatedly stomping on her brakes in an attempt to get our driver to hit her again. Moments later, both cars stopped in the emergency lane.
You moved into my lane and hit me. I got you on dash cam. So good luck with that shit.
The dash cam footage proved otherwise, and the police fined her $3,000 in damages. This driver was honking at the black Cadillac in front due to its reckless behavior. Mad at this, the Cadillac driver decided to stop in the middle of the road and was ready to confront our POV driver.
Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Why are you mad?
However, his gangster era ended quickly when a police car, which had been witnessing everything, turned the lights on and pulled him over. This cyclist is about to skip the whole waiting line at this intersection where all these cars are stopped waiting for the light to turn green. In some states, you're not allowed to move through traffic gaps no matter the size of the vehicle you're riding. This action pissed off the driver of the gray car, who was the first in the waiting line. So when the light turned green, both the car and the cyclist started moving. And due to anger, the car honked at the cyclist. Annoyed by this, the cyclist then kicked the car, but fell from the bike in the middle of the road, while the passenger of the gray car opened the door just to laugh at him and then drove off.
This guy was driving at night in Melbourne, Australia when a civilian was walking on the road, and when the car honked at him, he had an interesting reaction, to say the least. He started off by flipping off the driver as well as a camera looking in his direction. But that's not all. The guy appeared to be drunk and tapped the car, showing this was the distance that the guy had to keep between them. But when the driver honked again, this was his reaction.
Yeah, there's a camera. See, hey, mate, fuck off on road.
The guy struck the car's bonnet with his hand and continued to walk in front of the driver as shown in 5 times speed, but it didn't take long for other pedestrians to solve the problem for him, as these guys knocked him out of the road to make way for the driver. Watch this guy's hilarious response to a road rager trying to pick a fight with him.
No, I'm good.
See, because you know you lose.
How do I lose?
Because I will beat your dick into the ground all day long.
That's kind of gay, isn't it?
I will beat your dick. Dude.
Social as a human, and I need my space and privacy and quiet time. And that for me just was like, I literally spent so much time in airport loos because it was the only place where I could get quiet time. It would be like when I used to go to strategy group meetings.
You've just given us an exclusive.
I used to spend a lot of time out in the strategy group meetings. I would go and have quiet time in the loos because it was the only place that I would get peace from those 30 blokes.
This person was driving in Australia when another vehicle sideswiped her, so as anyone else would, she pulled over, and the other driver did the same, except he was a little crazy. The driver got out of the car and strutted over to the other side of his vehicle, completely ignoring the damage he caused to the other car as he kept his mirror flipped to make his car seem more damaged.
Are you kidding?
The lady then got out of her car to take photos, and this happened. After threatening to attack her, he must have thought he could easily drive away, except 2 police cars blocked him just in time, and he had no choice but to take accountability. This person was driving in Australia when another vehicle sideswiped her, so as anyone else would, she pulled over, and the other driver did the same, except he was a little crazy. The driver got out of the car and strutted over to the other side of his vehicle, completely ignoring the damage he caused to the other car as he kept his mirror flipped to make his car seem more damaged.
Are you kidding?
The lady then got out of her car to take photos, and this happened. After threatening to attack her, he must have thought he could easily drive away, except 2 police cars blocked him just in time, and he had no choice but to take accountability.
Oh!
This driver caught a hilarious cyclist rage in Australia, and it all began because he was too impatient.
Just wait for us, you idiot.
He nearly tripped himself up as he tried to squeeze besides the other driver, and in rage after he didn't move aside, smacked his vehicle. This then led to the driver getting out of his car and the cyclist simply riding away to avoid the confrontation. What would you have done?
Your mate had an unjust reaction there. That was unjust.
Also, who do you think is in the wrong? Whilst this driver was trying to join into traffic, a blue Nissan had other plans, so this driver tried forcing his way in, but she came back in rage so she could reclaim her spot in traffic, but this ended up with the driver recording hitting her car, to which she quickly responded by stopping and exiting her vehicle.
Don't worry, it's all on camera. Don't worry, it's all on camera.
Whose fault do you think it is? As this trucker was traveling on a road in San Mateo, Peru, boulders started falling onto the road, and this happened. The horrifying accident shows the trucker's cargo in front being smashed, followed by the panic of this trucker rushing out of his vehicle and being knocked out by the impact of multiple boulders hitting his truck. But even after all the repeated hits of the huge boulders, both of the commercial truck drivers managed to survive. However, their cargo was completely decimated. Thankfully, the strong build of these trucks allowed the drivers to miraculously live. Here is an image of the aftermath. These two guys were both stoned whilst driving, and it ended up being hilarious.
Zimbabwe. You need a little Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. A little 3 milli vanilli up in your top. Watch out! Oh. Not bad. It's alright, it's alright. I didn't see that. Watch out for this person too. Let's see, hopefully you're Gucci. That should be fine. Damn. Yeah, you took that sharp. Yeah, damn. I tried to stop you because it was like you were looking that way. No, thanks, bro. Honestly, it could have been worse. Honestly, I think we got off the hook.
Maine, a motorist records an altercation between a driver and two road workers at a location where construction has turned a two-way road into a single lane. According to the man filming, moments earlier, apparently unhappy about being held up, the driver allegedly cut in front of a line of cars and drove ahead without being given the all clear. Now, the flagger blocks his way, possibly as punishment for trying to skip the line. And when another worker signals for the line of cars the driver had allegedly cut in front of to pass through, the driver is made to wait. But the allegedly impatient motorist seems to have no patience for that and begins inching forward, allegedly nudging the flagger with his vehicle.
I got it all on camera, bro. I got it all on camera. The whole thing.
The aggressive driver, who put the flagger at great risk by pulling ahead, takes off, but is tracked down by police a short while later. He is charged with reckless conduct with a dangerous weapon.
I got it all on camera, bro.
Fortunately for everyone involved, no one is injured. And the lesson is clear. The more time you give yourself to get somewhere, the less likely things will come to this. On a Texas highway off-ramp, a dash cam records a truck hauling a trailer. The truck hits a car that was allegedly just involved in another accident with a different vehicle, ejecting the driver, who narrowly avoids being run over. Moments later, the seemingly uninjured man begins frantically searching the back of his car for something, which turns out to be a young child, who was also apparently thrown from the car when it was hit by the truck.
Hey, is he okay? Okay. Baby, 애기한테 봐. 빨리.
The young boy appears shaken, but otherwise uninjured.
Hey, 전화 줘.
A man who may have been driving the truck who hit the car confronts the driver.
Keep that car over there. This car started over there. They don't have no lights on or anything. Let's roll.
The man with the dash cam claims the truck driver leaves the scene before police arrive.
Everybody's found, yes.
He also states that everyone is okay. And perhaps by pure luck, a tragedy
Hey, is he okay?
is avoided.
Okay.
In South Australia, a motorcyclist rides through an intersection and appears to trigger a speeding camera.
That's 60. Lucky I got that on camera, right?
The biker believes that he wasn't breaking the speed limit, so he returns to the same stretch of road the next day to see if going the same speed triggers the camera again.
Yesterday, these lights flashed twice when I went through them, and I can only assume that they were flashing at me.
And though the driving conditions are much less ideal,
it's horrible, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad the visor's not fucking up right now. This is so bad. I see.
As he approaches the intersection with the camera, he decides to do the test anyway.
Right, so I'll go at 4,000 revs in 6th gear again, straight through here. I'll see what happens.
A driver coming in the opposite direction makes a right turn directly into the biker, knocking him over the handlebars and onto the pavement. In a stroke of luck, the first person to respond is ideally qualified to help.
Lie down. It's okay, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Can you turn? Are you hurt anywhere?
Perhaps even more fortunate, an ambulance just happens to be stopped at the same intersection.
Hi guys, how you going?
Yeah, right.
Though the man sustains only minor injuries, his bike is totaled. According to the biker, responding officers use his footage to clear him of any wrongdoing and charge the driver with failure to give way. But regardless of who's at fault, the takeaway is clear.
Have a look at you.
Driving defensively for all motorists in all situations
I'll see what happens.
is always a good idea. A motorcyclist's camera records as he travels down the highway in Phoenix, Arizona, when suddenly the biker is caught unaware when he claims the SUV ahead slams on the brakes and then takes off.
I'm halfway alive.
A few good Samaritans jump into action to help get the biker and his motorcycle to safer ground.
He brake checked me bad. I couldn't stop in time. Thank you.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Dude, good thing you have.
Though the biker's camera does help police track the SUV down, according to the biker, no driver is charged because it's not possible to prove who was driving at the time. As for the 22-year-old biker, he suffers 2 broken wrists and a bad case of road rash. A harsh but powerful lesson for everyone involved. Always leave yourself plenty of room, just in case.
He checked me bad. I couldn't stop in time.
For commuters, buying a home on a main route does have its advantages. Easy access to transportation, good, reliable road maintenance, a sometimes more affordable price. The potential downside, the rare but very real possibility of this happening. A commercial truck veers into a ditch, flips nearly end over end through some utility wires, and comes to rest on the roof of a home. Moments later, the driver emerges, apparently unharmed, as does his passenger. Fortunately, at the time of the crash, the homeowner was in his driveway. Utility crews eventually cut the power lines before crane can safely extricate the truck from the house. According to police reports, the driver is later charged with careless driving. No word on the cost of repairs for the home, or if the homeowner is looking to move. In High Point, North Carolina, a truck's dash cam captures vehicles crossing train tracks that appear to be safe, now that a southbound train has just passed by. When suddenly, the gate comes down again, trapping the truck with a dash cam and a blue car on the tracks as a northbound train approaches. The car's driver gets out in a panic. The train is just seconds away, so she runs for cover, while the truck driver puts it into reverse, pushing through the gates behind them. The northbound train demolishes the woman's car. The driver of the car flees the scene, but 2 days later, she turns herself into police and is charged with having no operator's license and cited for a railroad crossing violation. So at a train crossing, remember, waiting for all the signals to be clear is well worth the extra time. Though many U.S. cities have designated bicycle lanes in an attempt to protect cyclists from drivers, 96% of fatal bike accidents still involve a motor vehicle, due in part to drivers who often seem to ignore these lanes.
Hey, watch it! Dude, you serious, man? The hell's your wrong with me the whole way, bro?
So it's understandable that some bikers would take whatever measures necessary.
It's all on video, dude. Calling the cops.
Go ahead, call the cops.
License plate on camera.
I don't give a
to protect themselves and their lanes.
Threatening me.
You're gonna run into
Okay, please.
You in my car.
Call the police.
How you
Call the
like
police.
that? How you like that? You like that?
Call
you
the
my
police.
car like that?
Dude.
Because the police are not called in this case,
Dude.
the biker is forced to accept the situation and move on.
You saw me the whole way, bro.
But not all bikers are willing to do that. In most states, it's illegal for planes to take off or land on roadways. And that's no surprise, as a roadside plane can quickly become a hazard to both pilots and motorists. However, in the case of an emergency, pilots may be forced to touch down on the closest flat landing surface, which could mean taking the risk of using a roadway as a runway. Near the Montana-Idaho state line, a driver spots a small aircraft flying low over Interstate 90. But it's losing altitude very quickly. The plane crashes wing first and then skids to a halt on the opposite side of the highway. Though traffic is light enough that the crash causes no other accidents, the driver and the other motorist fear the worst for the pilot.
Need a hand? Let's look at your eyes. Are you in shock? Okay.
Miraculously, he appears unharmed.
It's got a fire here. Yeah, let's go ahead and put the fire out. Ooh, that was scary.
According to the man filming, the pilot said the plane hit a downdraft and lost engine power, forcing him to crash land on the highway. Though his plane won't be taking off again anytime soon, he's lucky to have avoided any serious injuries.
I thought you were a glider.
But just in case, first responders encourage him to seek medical attention and then purchase a lottery ticket.